What's going on? It's Kevan, Kenney, and welcome to a brand new edition of Billboard in Studio. Our guest today, Mr. Chase Rice. How are we?
Good, man. Real good.
Bundled up. It's cold this time of year.
It is, although outside it's not that bad here in New York City today. It's a nice day.
It is a nice day, and it is a nice time to chat with you. Your new record, Lambs and Lions, is out everywhere. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's we've had a great week. I think we're still the number one streaming country album. So which is
that
cool.
right?
Yeah.
That must be amazing to see.
It is
Tell
cool.
me 3 years, right? So 3 years of hard work, and then you see that. That must be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what to judge right now, sales or streaming, because it's all. Last time I put a record out, it was that long ago to where it was a sales world where I didn't even pay attention. Like when I'd post something, I would just go straight to iTunes, and now it's like we post this link that takes you to iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever your choice is.
Yeah, it's a funny time in music for sure. I love, first off, I have a theory with the perfect length of an album, and it's 10 tracks.
Yeah.
And yours happens to be 10 tracks. How did that go in terms of, did you have to cut a lot out? How did you get it down to 10?
Yeah, I mean, there was 30 songs to choose from that I've written 3 albums basically in 3 years, and I used to disagree with that. I was like, man, because I remember one artist that I loved came out with an album before I got into music, and it was 10 tracks, and I was like, man, come on, you're ripping me off. So when I started doing this, I was like, my last one was 19 tracks. So, but now the reason I did it on purpose, was because you're only going to go maybe 4, probably just for me on this record, 2 or 3 singles deep to country radio. So I'm not going to sit here and waste all these songs that especially people aren't buying albums as much as they used to be. So 10 tracks, I agree. And like, I mean, you look at Thriller. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest records of all time, Michael Jackson, and that's 10 tracks.
Yeah, it's so consumable, because a lot of times, even artists I love, they'll come out with a record, and I'll see, and there's 18 tracks on that. I'm never going to get to
You're never going to get to them,
tracks,
especially these days. Like you said, people aren't buying albums like they used to, so the good thing that I've heard is people are getting to the end of this record, they're like, oh, man, I didn't know it was going to be over already,
and
which
is
a good
listen
thing.
To it again.
Yeah, just listen to it again. And I put out too many songs on my last record, because then you don't get an identity of what you're known by, what your songs are. And this one, you can listen to all 10 of them pretty quick.
I want to talk about your identity on this record, but also your identity just as a person. You've led an incredible life, very interesting life. I want to start UNC football. You played college football down in UNC?
Yeah, UNC at Chapel Hill. Man, I miss football.
Yeah,
I miss it.
It's
I miss
tough,
it a lot.
man, walking away from the game.
Well, now, it's real tough, and you miss your boys. You know, just the times you had as a not a regular student, but together going to bars, stuff like that, and you just miss your boys like that. And then for me, I'm a competitive guy, so where the world I come from is, if you say you're better than me, all right, let's go, and then the winner wins, and it's over. Conversation's done. The world I live in now with music, it's like it's not a competition as much as it can be, as I'm used to. So it's not like I could just sit here and say, no, Thomas Rhett, I'm better than you, and I just beat you at something.
Yeah, a showdown.
I just beat you at my album, beat yours.
Yeah.
It's because there's so many different factors in music that it's just not. It's a different world for me, but I like it.
But you know what is funny, though, is you talk about being with the boys and kind of that being hard, missing your life after football. I think what you miss is the camaraderie, right, of the team. Exactly. I think you're in the right genre, though, for that camaraderie, because I've never seen a community like the country music community. Yeah,
and for me, it's real anyway. I don't know how real it is all the time, but for me, it's real because, I mean, literally, these guys we used to just hang out at the bar together.
Yeah.
You grow up going to a bar together in Nashville and going to bars together, and just trying to make your way through, and you go to a bar in the meantime because nobody's booking you for shows or anything like that. So you're just going out, just being buddies together, and then all of a sudden one of them blows up and you never see them again, and because they're all just touring like crazy, and then all of a sudden, same for us right now, we're touring like crazy. So it's fun. You get to catch them a few times a year at award shows and stuff like that, and then when the small chance you might have some time off, but
little mini family reunion.
It is definitely there's definitely camaraderie in country music for sure.
Now I want to ask you too about something that is just incredible. You were a NASCAR Pit Crew member.
Yeah.
What I'm not well versed in NASCAR by any means. What are the responsibilities?
What do you mean? Come on, you look like a good old boy watching NASCAR on Sunday.
What are the responsibilities of a pit crew member in NASCAR? I'm actually really interested.
So the car will come in, and when it's about probably the length of this piece right here, but it's the length of a car basically. When it's one away, you jump out in front of it, and it's coming in at 60 mile an hour. So you're jumping out of front of a car coming in at 60 mile an hour hot. It's pretty exhilarating, I guess you could say. But each guy's got their own job. I was a jack man first, and I was a rear tire carrier. And, you do the right side. One guy pulls, one guy inserts the tire. When the front and back are done with that, which is usually about the same time, they run around and do it on the left side. And you're doing 4 tires stop in about, hopefully 11 seconds or less.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
How does that rush compare to the rush of football?
Ooh, nothing's like football.
Yeah,
I love
I'm getting
football,
you missing
man.
the game right now.
Yeah, I love football. It's fun though. I mean, football's a marathon.
Yeah.
NASCAR's a sprint. I mean, it is literally you may only have 2 stops per day. You may have 18 stops if it's Bristol or something crazy. But it's fun throughout the day, but it doesn't compare to football. I didn't grow up playing NASCAR. I grew up playing football, so I guess that's probably why I love it so much. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I want to talk about this new record again, Lambs and Lions. It's out and available everywhere. I want to start at the top of this track listing here. I'm going to nerd out a little bit on the music because I do enjoy the record so much. But you kick off the record with a track called Lions.
Yeah.
This is a powerful track. If you're watching at home right now and you have not heard the record, truth be told, it was a crazy morning. I was coming back from Los Angeles yesterday. I didn't get coffee. Listening to this song replaced coffee. I mean, this got
good.
me. I'm serious. This is like gym playlist kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you talk about football, and you brought that up. That's what I wanted it for, and that's why the Lord's Prayer made its way in there, because it was like, what did we used to do before football games as a team? You said the Lord's Prayer.
Dude, you know what that song is? Not to cut you off. That song is Waiting in the Tunnel. That's what that feels
Exactly.
like to me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You get the prayer in the locker room, and then you're standing there in the tunnel ready to hit the field.
Well, you nailed it. Then we nailed it with the song anyway, because that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be a song that would get me jacked up in the locker room before a football game.
Yeah.
That's Lions.
And it sounds funny, but it gets you jacked up to listen to the rest of the record.
Yeah.
And it's a very versatile record. I said that to you before we went live here with the interview. By track 1, you're getting us amped up and ready to hit the field with Lions. Track 3, you're like singing us ballads. And you as an artist are pretty versatile. I read a quote that I want to ask you about recently where you said, you don't want to think of yourself as a country artist. You're just an artist. Can you explain that?
Yeah, and that's not knocking on country music.
Yeah,
I
wanted to make sure you
I am very much, country radio it's been unbelievable for me. But for me, that's the way I look at records is, okay, what can I give country radio? 3 or 4 songs, max usually, that I want to be able to give them and have an opportunity for them to play. And then outside of that, I want to stretch it. I want to stretch what I do as an artist, and that's where I kind of want to break the barrier of what is my music, whether it's country or not. And Lions, you listen to that, that's not a country song.
No.
I mean, and that's okay, because I'm not going to sit there and try to force it down country radio's throat and have them play it. No. Well, we got their songs that are good for them, and then I want to stretch the boundaries, and why not? When you have the ability to do it, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And you listen to a record throughout the day, you think about your emotions throughout the day. You have highs, you have lows, you feel this way, you feel that way. You want a record to sort of take you on a journey. And this one certainly does with the versatility. I want to talk to you about a song, Eyes on You.
Eyes on You, yeah.
Another
That's
great
a journey
song.
in itself.
I got to ask you about a lyric in that song, because we're taping this right now at 43rd and Madison, about a couple avenues away from Times Square. Is that a true story? You were in Times Square with somebody that you really cared about, and you were counting down to midnight?
You'd have to do terrible, terrible things to me to get me to be in Times Square at midnight
That's
on
why
New
I'm
Year's,
asking
man.
you this question. I mean, you gotta be a crazy person.
That's actually
to be
the
there on New
only
Year's
place I
Eve.
mentioned that I've never been on New Year's. But, sometimes you got to make it up as you go.
Yeah.
I will say, if I had a girl that it meant enough to her to do it, I would go to Times Square. Yeah. I'd go to Times Square and make that part of the song come true. But it's going to have to be one hell of a girl for that. It's but even like Times Square, we mentioned Big Sur, which is Pfeiffer Beach. I've been to almost all the places in that song, and then a couple of them I haven't been to, like Times Square, Paris. We're actually going over to London and all that here in a couple weeks on tour. But it's just places you want to go with that girl, or that you've been with the girl, and you almost miss them because your eyes are on her.
Yeah. And that, as a New Yorker, I can that's a testament of love, saying you would go there for the right girl.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it might end the relationship, but I would do
But
it.
you
I'd
would
give it a
do it.
shot.
I want to talk to you about a song, and I want to get the name right. One Love, One Kiss, One Drink, One Song.
Yeah.
It's a great song off the album I really enjoy. But I thought we'd play a fun game here and sort of a little play on the lyrics here. And I want you to run through some quick hitters. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start off with One Love. Name one thing you really, really love. Could be anything. When I say that, what's the first thing?
College football Saturday. Yeah, we've said it a lot, but college football Saturday.
Right on. All right. One celebrity crush. This is a good one. One celebrity crush growing up that you wish you could have kissed, playing on the one kiss of that song.
Oh man, I'm gonna go actress. She Kate Mara.
Okay.
Kate Mara.
Who's
That's
Kate
the first
Mara?
thing. First, yeah. Or I think one of her family members owns the Giants. Actually.
Oh, that Mara.
She's an actress. She's in. She was in House of Cards. At the beginning of that, she was in
Wow.
The Shooter. She was in.
Okay.
She's just hot, man.
Well,
So
Kate,
Kate,
if
if
you're
you see
watching right
this,
now.
let's talk about it.
All right, next up, one drink you love. What's one? You got Jack Daniels shows up.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
It's Jack Daniels all day. If I'm shooting, it's either Jack 7 or Jack Fire. If I'm sipping, it's probably I bought a whole barrel. That's how much I love Jack Daniels. I bought a whole barrel.
How does a guy buy a barrel of Jack Daniels?
Hey, you can do it too, man.
Really?
Go check it out, jackdaniels.com. No,
There you go.
Just kidding. No, for real, you can go to the distillery, and at the end of it, you can choose to buy a barrel. Anybody can
Wow.
do it. Yeah, it's just and then they bottle them for you. So if I'm sipping, I did the tasting. I tasted 4 different barrels.
And you picked the one you liked?
I picked barrel number 19 of 2015.
Wow, that is rad. All right, one song you love. What's your favorite? Let's actually flip this. What's your favorite song of all time? Is anything you talk about George Strait on the record? I love George Strait. I don't know if it would be one of his, but do you have a favorite song of all time?
One of his would be "I Saw God Today." That's probably my favorite George Strait song. My favorite song of all time is "The Dance" by Garth Brooks.
Now, why?
Hands down. To me, it's what life's all about. I mean, I could have missed, but I'd have never. I could have missed the pain. Like I can't sing it right now. It's hard for me to sing if I'm just talking the lyric. But I'd have had to miss the dance, and that's what life's all about. It's a dance, man.
Now, have you met Garth? Because we've met him a couple times here at Billboard. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, I was with him last week actually. I was doing an interview similar to this one actually, and it was a girl interviewing him, and I was next, and then I go up to her, kind of walk right by Garth, and she's kind of we're all standing there, and I'm like, sorry, I'm next. You got to interview me after you just got done with Garth Brooks. And Garth, I was joking, and Garth thought I was serious. I think he like puts his arm around me, hits me on the chest. He's like, "No, man, you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great things." I'm like, "Thanks, Garth Brooks. I'm gonna do great things. Appreciate it."
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's,
so
that's on par with the guy he is. He's a great guy.
He is.
I'm
He's a
do
good
that.
dude, man. He's treated guys I know real well, and I've not spent much time with him, but all years, good things.
Now, I'll let you get out of here, but I do want to ask about probably my favorite track. It's hard to say that, but my favorite track, you did save it for last, This Cowboy's Hat.
Yeah.
That's an incredible song. I mean, just the way you structured that song, if you're watching right now, you have not heard the song, it's sort of spoken word. I hope you don't mind me saying that. And
No,
then
it is.
it's sort of interspersed with actual singing. And I thought it was, what a cool way to tell a story and also make a song.
Yeah, and believe it or not, that song is it's a cover. It's Chris Ledoux. Is the original guy who sang that song, and I grew up on Garth Brooks and Chris Ledoux. And Chris Ledoux is a Western. I would say he was a cowboy before he was a singer, and his son is singing on that track with me. So it's Ned's talking the verses, and that song is pretty old. But his son's talking the verses, and then I'm singing the chorus, and it tells a story. If you haven't heard This Cowboy's Hat, check it out. It's the last song on the record, and that's why I wanted to end it with that song. You couldn't end it any better because that's probably one of my favorite songs. Another one of my favorite songs of all time. And now that I'm singing it with Chris's son, Ned, it's that's pretty cool to me.
Well, and it's a very timely song, right? I don't know if I'm reading too much into the music here, but it's about people who may have differences coming together and better understanding each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about a biker and a cowboy, and,
Right.
And the biker's got beef with the cowboy, and the cowboy stands up for himself. And at the end of the day, that song's about, if you ever had a chance to sit down and talk face to face, you might realize you got a lot in common. And it says that's Chris's vocal in the beginning, and the whole man. You're right. It's never been more timely right now, and I think it's always been the way it is right now, but. Now it's just people have a way to get their opinion. People have a way to get their opinion out there a lot easier than they used to. So it's causing more beef. But hopefully, everybody can chill out and realize you might got a lot in common.
Sip some Jack Daniels, right?
Sip some Jack. Let's go.
Well, I appreciate you ending the record on that sort of message of unity. It was a nice bow tie on the present that you did give us with Lambs and Lions. Again, the record is available everywhere. Anything we can sort of preview for next year, or the tour dates, or anything like that?
Like I said, we're going over to 3 in England, 1 in Scotland, 1 in Ireland later this year, and then we'll kick it off. We're finishing the Lambs and Lions tour January and February of next year, and then we'll do our own thing all summer long. And then next fall, I'm hoping something exciting can come with me and somebody else touring together. I'm not sure who it's going to be yet, but we're looking.
We'll keep our eyes out. Chase, thanks so much for stopping by, man.
Thank you.